I heard you wanted to grind Hexe. I think I might have something for you. Other videos are going to drag you around for 20 plus minutes, not this one, so buckle up. This one's going to be packed. Hexe Sanctuary is an Elvia grind spot in Calphion with a recommended AP of 300 and DP of 400. I can say with confidence I've played both Evasion and DR here, and DR feels just a tad better, and that's on Mystic. Personally, I think just about any class can grind here, but this is BDO, and anybody watching this is a hyper sweat. So here's my recommendations for classes based on both Garmoth.com and my close friend group. Suck Hash, Suck Zerker, Awakened Wizard, both Guardians, Suck Dracania, Megu, Wusu, Suck Musa, and Suck Sage. All of these classes have excellent passes for this spot, as well as plenty of AoE and sustain to keep up and outpace most of the other classes. The AP cap here is right at 900 combined AP, which means most classes are only going to need 293 sheet AP to cap out with a basic buff rotation. Speaking of buff rotations, I highly recommend running a simple cron meal over the much sweatier exquisite cron here. Mobs simply do too much damage to ignore, and that extra 5% / crit damage is not worth a dime compared to the 6% reduced damage from monsters. I suggest that if you're below 285 AP, that your buffs look a little something like this, or what's more likely, since every one of you is a degenerate AP stack, run something along these lines if your DP is below 385. If you're curious if you're at the AP cap, you can try using a tool like Garmoth. If not, just combine your main hand AP or your Awakening AP with your monster AP to figure out if you're hitting that 900 AP cap for Hexe. This being said, Hexe is a significantly more evasive spot compared to some of the other top spots. In general, if you're below 850 accuracy, I recommend running Vipers and Elcars. The other issue with Hexe is just how much damage you take. Because of this, my crystals look a little something like this, with 4 Hooms, just to keep myself up as much as possible. You can get on the upper side of 20,000 trash and 15 despairs an hour, almost entirely based on just how you grind. At Hexe, each pack of mobs will have a skeleton Wormith carrying a tombstone on his back and a Howling Dead Green Orc Warrior. Killing mobs around the big tombstone guy will cause him to eat their souls, feed him enough souls to have him transform into a shitty Maka Alba cosplay. Killing him will spawn waves of mobs for a period of time. Killing the Howling Dead Green Orc Warrior will make it so all mobs in the immediate area aggro onto you, regardless of the typical aggro limit of 10. The waves of mobs Mr. Tombstone spawns on death will include the scary part that actually does damage. 3 enhanced mobs are much larger than the normal ones and have a tag of Unstable Soul, those 3 mobs being Unstable Soul Green Orc Warrior, Unstable Soul Skeleton Warrior, and Unstable Soul Skeleton Wolf. Killing the Green Orc Warrior here will deal huge splash damage to all mobs around him. The Unstable Soul Skeleton Warrior and Skeleton Wolf will just charge at you and spawn a large AoE, dealing huge damage to both you and the mobs around them. Why did I just explain all of that? Because this next part here is very important. If you don't understand why you're doing it, you're a lot less likely to actually do it. So what all of that basically means is when you first approach a pack of mobs, you're going to focus down the Howling Dead Green Orc Warrior and kill the pack of mobs that approach you until the Skeleton Wormith transforms. If you run out of mobs and he hasn't transformed yet, just move on to the next pack and get him next time. After the Wormith spawns, be sure to burst him down and leave immediately after he dies. We will catch the waves of mobs in the next rotation to stack the AoE damage with more of the smaller mobs. So the next time around that pack, you're going to now have a stacked and waiting first wave of mobs, and all of the normal mobs as well. Prioritize all of your damage on the Howling Dead Green Orc Warrior, and then the Unstable Soul Green Orc Warrior. Continue to fight your way through the waves of mobs in that pack, killing Unstable Green Orcs as they spawn. Whenever the Unstable Skeleton Warrior or Unstable Skeleton Wolf spawns, pull all the mobs to the middle of their AoE and make sure to let them blow up. This AoE hurts a lot, so make sure you block or dodge it. By the time you finish the full wave, the next Tombstone Skeleton will have been mostly fed, if not fully fed. You can continue grinding with these 2 steps on repeat forever. Using this strategy will require between 3 and 6 packs of mobs. It's up to you to decide on how many packs of mobs you need. If you try to do more packs than you can handle, the waves of mobs will just despawn, totally ruining your setup, leaving you with no loot and a slower next pack. Don't try to be that guy if you're not that guy, pal. So there you go, my complete guide to Hexe Sanctuary. Now get out there and grind out those fancy new Dawn Gloves and Alchemy Stones.